Welcome back, folks, to another episode in Light Space. Today, we'll be talking a little bit more in depth of what I was mentioning in the previous episode. I did get a few comments from outside of social media that some of the things were kind of left up in the air, so I decided to make a series. So, in the following episodes that will proceed, we'll be touching upon what it is to be a Christian. So today we're going to be talking about the liberation that comes from being a Christian. I know you guys have a lot to do, so I'll try to keep it short and sweet and to the point so that you guys take something that may help you for today and it makes you think. I believe we've talked about this in a previous episodes ago, but I'll just address it again because it's good to refresh. And since this is going to be a series of videos that we're going to have, might as well just have it in here. So we're going to start by reading John 8:34, and this is what it says. John says here, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. So John is basically telling us that if we commit sin, we are servants of sin. Now, Paul tags along in Romans 7:14 and says this. The important aspect here to understand is we know that the law is spiritual and it's very important, but there's an important aspect that says, I am carnal, sold to sin as a slave. Paul says here that he's sold under sin. So we know that a man that's being sold is actually not a free man, but a slave. So in other words, if we are committing sin, we are slaves of sin. So we're therefore not free. So that's where we come and see that following Christ is actually a liberation from sin, from being a slave to sin. So the prominent characteristic of a slave is that he cannot please himself or do whatever he wishes. And we find truth about this and proof that this is the case in when Paul says in Romans 7:15 and on. It's a little bit hard to understand if you don't really pay close attention here. In other words, Paul is saying that when we are in sin like he was before, we do the acts and the fruits of sin. We cannot say we're doing good because we are in sin, even though we think we're doing good, quote unquote good. It is the works of sin that just go out through our lives. After reading all of this and talking about this, we find ourselves in a very, very bad situation here. We're found as slaves, and the Bible is addressing that. But at the same time, it gives us the solution of how to break out of being a slave. And it's found in John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. We know that the cause of sin is death. We find that God sends his only Son, Jesus Christ, to this world to give us life. And we have to question ourselves too, what is the way or what is the approach that I have to make in order to take this step of believing Christ? And we find this in John chapter 14, verse 6. Jesus said unto him, I am the way, the truth, the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. With that being said, in order for us to be liberated from sin is that we have to accept and have faith in Jesus Christ and follow his footsteps along our daily lives. If you want to be free from sin and if you want to have an eternity with God, you have to stop doing the things of the world. You see, a person that follows Jesus and who has been liberated from sin and is no longer a slave but a servant of Jesus Christ is the complete opposite of the world. Basically, if you're a true follower of Christ, You follow everything that Jesus tells you no matter what. There's no exceptions, there's no nothing. You follow whatever he says in the Bible, and you don't disregard anything because of how you feel. No, you follow Jesus Christ until death. You follow him throughout your journey through life. And this is the important part, that we have to acknowledge first that and accept that we are slaves to sin, and realize that the life that we have like that is not the life that is meant for us. And Jesus came and paid a huge price for us in order for us to be liberated and be free. And it's never too late. And no matter how far you've gone in your sinful life, Jesus always knocks on the door, and if you open that door, which is your heart, your mind, he will enter and he will cleanse you. In other words, you become his temple. So your salvation, your freedom comes from Jesus Christ by doing the things that he asks you. And the things that he asks you is to keep his commandments, love thy neighbor, and follow his footsteps. Jesus, our Father, loves you a lot and loves everyone. He would have not have sacrificed his life for us if he didn't. And so we have to take that gift that he gave us of freedom and use it wisely and actually follow his footsteps. This is kind of just the awakening of the things that we have to do in order to be true Christians. You can never be 50-50, like one foot on the world and another foot on religion. You're being pulled apart. You won't enjoy either one. So if you are in that situation, make up your mind of where you want to be. Do you want to be a full-on Christian? Go for it. You'll enjoy it. You'll receive a lot of blessings. And if you want to be in the world and you don't want to be a Christian, then go to the world and enjoy your time in the world, even though it's limited. I know it sounds weird coming from me saying that, but that is the truth and the reality that we live in. There is no middle ground. There's no gray area where you can, have these certain habits and say that you're a Christian, but they contradict what it is to be a Christian. Think about it real hard. Pray about it. Decide what kind of life that you want. You want to be a servant of Jesus Christ or a slave to sin. So I leave you guys with that thought, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. And I really love suggestions. So if you guys have suggestions, you can leave them in the comments below. And I hope that you guys have a beautiful rest of the day. And I hope that you guys do choose to be with Christ full on. It's a beautiful life, and we'll find that out through the course of the series that we will have. Take care, and God bless you all.